Welcome back to the GSTL with Caldor and Wolf. Currently Life only on 1 win, and he looks stressed out. Look at him, man. Oh my god.
He was probably yawning.
He's like, no way, not Son. It can't be.
Nah, I don't believe it. Life, well, he just had the appetizer. He had Freaky for breakfast, and now he's up against the next player. And by the way, with this comment, I don't want to talk Freaky down. He played really well. He took 2 wins so far, but it's just like, I'm in a Life hype now. Seriously, the last week, Life was the player.
Yeah,
we've seen such great games out of Freaky as well, but he kind of pales to what Life was able to do here. It's just awesome that the GSTL to have players like Freaky, like Life, and well, just all of them showing such great games, results, and strategies. I love it. This is what the GSTL is known for.
It's all about
amazing.
This. You're so right, and let's see what Son is going to do. The map he has chosen is, in fact, Ohana. I gotta say, man, look at Life. He actually looks, he is freaking out a little bit, man. I don't know what else to say. Like, it's very apparent he is extremely stressed out about this match. We'll see if Son can capitalize on that and take him out here at the GSTL with Caldor and Wolf.
Game number 4 at the GSTL with ZeNEX up against NS Hosa. At the top left, in the yellow, we have our Zerg player. It is once again
ZeNEX Liper!
He defeated so many players in the last 2 GSTL matches. Now he is up against the ZeNEX player, sorry, against the NS Hosa player. I'm mixing both of them completely together right now, but at the bottom right, we have for NS Hosa.
NS Hosa, Son!
Yeah, obviously Life is starting for the ZeNEX team here. I think I called him an NS Hosa player just a second ago. I am actually not sure. I might have just mentioned the 2.
We all know what they really are.
Exactly.
And this probe will come at Scout on Pylon, which means it will force the spawning pool before the hatchery. If he had other plans, going hatch first, he won't be able to execute those. We do see Son is going Forge before Nexus. Pool goes down. He looks like he potentially wanted to even block the pool, but was not successful.
We sometimes see it. As soon as you see the probe, the first drone moving out and the probe trying to get in there and just following it, you might be able to get a delay on the pool, and nothing is more annoying in the older game for a Zerg player than when you're actually able to pull it off. It's not really a strategy, but if you are able to do it, it is so annoying. And we have,
he tried to hide his drone so that maybe the probe would come and check and then he could get the hatchery down, but it did not work. Son did not fall for it.
I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a great game. And Son, all these players that we see in this group, they have followed every single team match because they were aware that they might as well face the opponents, the teams that they watch on screen at some point in time in this week, during this week. So they have just a quick look at everything that happened, and they saw how Life played. So they were able to kind of prepare for him. And when NS Hosa knew that they were up against ZeNEX, they already, well, they definitely talked to each other and were like, okay guys, listen up, they have the players that they have. There's currently Life who's performing really well so far this week, so we have to make sure that he is not going to repeat what he pulled off against the other teams.
We gotta stop this guy, man.
Yeah, we gotta stop him early on before he builds up momentum.
He's like a Void Ray. He just like, he starts and then he gets to level 2 and then he gets to level 3 and then he's out of control.
That's the one thing that he said the same thing as well. He said in an interview, he said, okay, at first I was really nervous, but after the first 1 or 2 wins, I felt really comfortable. My play improved even more, and that's what they want to stop here.
This probe will hide the left side and go verify that the hatchery has been made at the natural. He wants to make sure that that's the case. It's going to change how he wants to move forward here, with what sort of pressure he may try to decide to do, or whether or not he's going to take a fast third of his own. This is a pretty good map for Pros to take a fast third on. If you you know, make a wall at your third, you kill the rocks at your natural, then you can kind of go between your natural and your third while having a wall there, and you feel really good, really comfortable against Roach attacks. It's a lot easier to defend against those split Roach pushes that we see.
Let's not forget, though, that we have seen War Prism play on this map. We've seen it leading up with a Stargate, then just making sure that the Overlords were not able to get an early read on the War Prism, and blocking the ramp is obviously what pros players these days really like against Zerg, as they completely shut down any type of defense.
You're right. This build that we're seeing so far is starting to look like the 4 gateway Zealot pressure. He's not taking gases at his natural. He's getting +1 very quickly, even before Warp Gate research. He has not really chronoed either of these researches, and there's the Robo going down. He's actually going to show it to the Overlord. He may cancel it. Oh, look at this speed finishes! And he tries to stop him, but he cannot stop him.
He gets into the main base and is now able to scout. Not killing one of these pros, but still. Just trying to be annoying. Get some scouting information. Knows exactly what's up now. Nice. Very well done.
Very well done indeed.
He sees the opening in the wall and he just uses it. He says, okay, that's 4 Zerglings that I'm going to lose, but I will have so much. I will be safe. I know exactly what he's going to do. I don't have to rely solely on my Overlords. I will have a Zergling in his base and I can just scout what's up.
Oh my god, I can't believe he's been able to keep this alive this long. He's able to dodge everything, and there's no additional gates. Now he adds them, and he knows the Ling will die, but they're so delayed. Now the question is, yep, there's the Warp Prism. I mean, it's no longer a question, it's a statement. The Warp Prism Sentry Drop will commence. How well will it be defended? That is the only question that's left on the table. Everyone is talking about this build right now.
Yeah, everyone except Life, it seems, because if you look at the minimap and you look at his base at the top left, there is not a single Overlord in position to spot the Warp Prism. There they are, sentries, 2 of them in the Warp Prism already. He's trying to hide it. He's
Oh, look at that. That was a close call.
The Warp Prism is actually heading towards the third rather than to the main base.
And he may just send it around after he passes the first watchtower. But
to be completely honest with you, Wolf, I think that he's just trying to kill a few drones.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And if he would have gone to the main, he could have killed him. There is not a single Overlord in a position where he could spot this early enough.
He's got 4 gateways, a decent amount of gas banked up as well. You're right, he could have done so much more. The Roach Warren is not done yet, though, and he is going to be able to warp in 4 additional Zealots now. He's got his units over against the wall, so the Lings cannot surround. Here we go. Force fields going down. In fact, just 1. Well controlled so far, warping in 4 additional Zealots, and with the Roach Warren still not complete, and he used all of his larvae on Zerglings. He is in a lot of trouble right now, Kaldor.
He actually is. San with a very nice attack here. Is not going for the choke block, but this is very scary nonetheless. The Zealots are going to receive a +1 armor upgrade as well, and they are tearing through these Zerglings. Even the drones had to be pulled. The Roach Warren is done. 13 Roaches on the way. He might just be able to save his hatch here, but he has to be careful that he doesn't lose too many drones.
He's losing a lot already. The Roaches are coming out 1 by 1. He needs to get them together. Now, the rest of the Roaches starting to pop, and he will target the hatchery with some of his Zealots. I don't think he has enough. He's going to have to pick up and get out. Nice hold by Life.
That's what he tries to do here. The timing for Life just good enough, but 9 drones died here. And now the War Prism getting into position at the natural. Is he able to pick it off, though, with his queens? Certainly looks like it's gonna be a close one, but no, it's fast enough.
Yeah, he is just gonna continue to have this threat here. Decides not to force field the ramp.
I cannot believe that he is not rallying a few of his units on the high ground.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, that could have potentially been horrible. I mean, you could see Son considered it. He was like, ah. Then he was like, nah, there's no way he won't defend this.
Yeah, I actually think that he was expecting Life to get at least a few roaches on the high ground. Life didn't do it, so it might have done a lot more damage than expected. But right now we have this push coming up, and we have the follow-up with Immortals.
Yeah, the Immortal push here is going to be very strong. +1 for the Roaches is about to finish. So is the Roach speed. It's all going to come down to the force fields. He has 10 sentries available to him. This could still work. He has the Observer here as well. He's moving in. If he can trap some of these units with force fields, I think this push could be devastating. But the Zerglings close the distance.
The Zerglings close the distance. They're not able to do too much damage, though a lot of force fields have been forced.
And remember, these units for the Protoss are at 1-1. He has 3 Immortals here.
Oh wow, those Immortals will be able to do a ton of damage as the Hydra Den is on its way, but will it be ready in time? 107 supply against 100. And he's running out of energy on the sentries.
I don't think he's going to hold this one. Life will not be able to get a multi-kill today. The drones come out. There are not enough roaches to support them. The 1-1 upgrades are too much.
GG! Life goes down as San claims victory and puts another point onto the scoreboard for his team.
The first wave of attacks, the first Zealot attack, did a lot more damage than I think we described because, yeah, he didn't kill that many drones.
But he delayed everything.
He delayed everything, and he killed so many Lings. That's a lot of larvae he spent. He actually made like 20 more Lings after the first wave of Lings died. That's 10 larvae gone. That means less roaches. And after that, he's like, well, I need a drone, but if I don't make enough roaches, then I might die. It's a stressful position to be in for Life. And he just died. The next attack was too much for him.
We currently have a 3-1 as San and Freaky are able to take out 3 of the ZeNEX players. This is getting scary now for ZeNEX. They just lost Head, Avenge and Life. They still have Line.
They still have Line, and I think he may be their final player. We still have ZeNEX Stream as well. ZeNEX Stream showing great play in the past, especially against OGS back last season. And he qualified for Code A, in fact. A lot of ZeNEX players qualified for Code A this season, so we'll see if he can show his stuff. But don't forget, even if they take out San, they still have Sage, Joxi, and Seal to contend with.
Yep.
A pretty tough lineup, so whoever comes out next is going to have to be a pretty good all-around player.
Yeah, that's exactly true. There are only 2 players left for ZeNEX, and the next map is going to be Atlantis Spaceship.
I think we're going to see Line come out maybe on this map. I would think maybe you would save him for last. That's not necessarily going to be the case here. The build that we saw from Life was pretty standard. He just died to San's attack. I don't think he expected the attack to come in that way. Didn't have any preparation set up in his main base, but his Roach Warren was a little bit too late to hold that specific attack.
It's just attack for Life was so much late. He did not go for an infestation pit, and usually when if you are facing a build that just revolves around a lot of sentries and immortals, you try to get the infestors for the fungals. You try to fungal all the sentries to shut the force fields down as fast as possible. Once the sentries are gone, you can just rush in with the Zerglings and Roaches and take the immortals out, which is so important. They're the backbone of the entire army. They kill the Roaches like nothing. So this is really, really important. He forced a lot of force fields. San is no Seed. Seed is known for his perfect force fields. We had a lot more energy used by San, but in the end it did not really matter because he did enough damage. He shut everything down, and the attempt,
upgrades,
the attempt to go for the Hydralist transition did not work for Life.
Who will be the next player? Will it be a Zerg on this map after all, or are they trying to eliminate the map? And here he is coming out. It is, in fact, Line.
Indeed. Another Zerg. This is the 3rd Zerg already for ZeNEX. It's Suho Shin, a.k.a. Line.
San does not look phased by this guy. He's like, I just killed a Zerg. Are you going to send another one against me? That's
Keep
fine.
him coming.
And if San actually secures this, then ZeNEX will be on their last life. So this is such an important match for them. Because as I mentioned before, with those 3 star players still left for NS Hosa, if ZeNEX loses this, they're going to have to go through all 3 of those players potentially, and San with their last player. And, I mean, I don't know if ZeNEX has a player that can do that. I'm not sure. Maybe Life could have done that, but he's already dead. You can't bring people back to life. Even if your ID is Life, man, he can't be brought back.
We should have something like this.
Like every
team
has one revive. Like if you use it early, you can never use it again. You can bring one player back and use them twice or something like that. Once per season. That's an interesting idea.
We had this in Warcraft 3.
You don't get a point back, but you can bring one player back to use them twice potentially.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting dynamic. That's actually a really cool idea.
We had this in Warcraft 3 in one of the team leagues, and it was really fun. Some teams just try to save it up for as long as possible, but it had a really nice touch to it.
Yeah, that's actually such a cool idea.
It's sometimes a little bit dangerous when you have a team where one player really stands out and it's hard enough to actually take him down, so we did not do it for every single team match. But if you do it once a season, it's sometimes really
Yeah,
nice.
every team match wouldn't make sense, but
That would be too much. I mean,
Yeah.
you would have to face a player like Marine King twice, like DRG twice, and
once per season, though,
just
that's
too
cool.
much.
Do you want to use that in the group stage, or you want to save it till the
Yeah.
finals, for example? But if you lose early on, then well, you never
Exactly.
got to use it. So that's a cool idea. That would add some extra depth. That's something to think about for sure. Well, our map is quite the big one, and Line is a pretty good macro player. He's the first player, well, not the first player of ZeNEX to get into Codas, but the only one to get in this season. There's potentially other players like Pet, or actually Pet didn't qualify, but anyway, you get the idea. There's a lot of ZeNEX players that qualified recently. They may be able to get into Code S, but he's the only one in there right now.
Line is actually the only Code S player that they have in the lineup, and he's by far, together with Life, it's the ZeNEX Lifeline, is the one player that they have in the lineup right now who I think might be able to take this team match. So he needs to get more than one win. If he loses to Sun, even if he defeats Sun and loses to the next player, it will be still so hard for the ZeNEX team.
Who can win for them after that?
I think after this we are going to see Extreme. That's the one player that I would actually expect. It depends, of course, a little bit on the matchup as well, but whoever it's going to be, if Line is not taking too many wins, then the next player will have to face different races as NS
and
also...
star players from each
exactly.
race.
Jakji. That's going to be so difficult. So I think the next player is going to be Extreme, but we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, Extreme or maybe Harrier, but
Yeah.
I think Extreme is definitely... I mean, they've shown that they like to use Extreme last. I think that's who they would pick. But before that, we obviously have to see if Line can even take this match.
Exactly.
He may be able to do it.
Yeah, San, on the other hand, he just played a game against Zerg, and he played really, really well. He started with this Warp Prism aggression, and he didn't lose a lot, just a few minerals, but he killed enough drones to make it work. So this time, will he go for a similar strategy? Will he try to use this Warp Prism harass? It's a huge map, and with enough Warp Prisms, we've seen Ace do it. You can actually do a lot of harass in the main base. You can, at the third as well, can just make it work. It's not going to be easy on a map this huge. Usually the Zerg player has quite an edge here, but still, we'll find out soon enough. Do you actually know what we're waiting for?
I can check.
Oh, alright. Line went to the bathroom.
Which is kind of funny, because right before he got picked, I saw him coming out of the bathroom. Maybe he's like really nervous or something, or maybe if his stomach feels sick. Because right now in the chat, I see that our Korean observer is talking about stomach hurting. So maybe his stomach's feeling really bad, which is... I mean, if your stomach is really hurting and you're going in the bathroom and, you're like actually having to play like potentially the most important match ever, that is stressful. But you're about to see him run behind us as he is ready and going into that booth.
This is, by the way, one of the things that a lot of Korean players mention when they go to foreign events. Every time they kind of ask if they can buy Korean food in the US and in Europe, and I was always surprised because I was like, okay, if you're in a foreign country, then why would you not try the local food? And it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Apparently, the Koreans, as they are not used to greasy food, for example, or to food in the US and in Europe, they experienced stomach pains and a lot of the stuff like this just because they ate the wrong food and then they had to play. So usually they just try to try the local food after they lost or won a tournament, which is actually really, really smart.
The same thing happens.
I didn't think about it.
The same thing happens to people who visit Korea, for example. So it works both ways, and you're right. That's something that's really important. You want to feel comfortable and ready to eat the food that you know, not take a risk before a big tournament.
If you don't explain it, because I really didn't think about it. When I heard about Koreans just bringing food from Korea, all these noodles with them, and I thought like, okay, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they do this? And yeah, it's just, there's actually a valid reason to it.
Well, let's find out what Line can do, man. This is his map choice. This is his moment. I hope his stomach is feeling better because we are jumping into the next game. If Line loses here, I think ZeNEX may have no hope of defeating NS Hosa at the GSTL.